أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم ألف لام ميم ذلك الكتاب لا ريب فيه هدى للمتقين. Inshallah, we are starting Surah Al-Baqarah today. There will be few things that we will mention. It will be very tough for majority of us to understand. And the reason for that is not because the Quran is hard or because Quran is tough or because Quran is complicated. It is only and only because we have been away from Quran so much. And take one silly example. You see, when someone is in darkness or in a dark room for too long, and then they suddenly go out and the sun is bright, they cannot see. Their eyes are hurting. It's like it's tough for them to see and it gives them pain. But after a few moments, they get used to it. The eye starts observing the light and then they take benefit from it. So similar is the case with the Quran as well. You might see it very tough at the beginning, hard to understand. But later on, the more time you spend with it, the more the Quran will open its arms to us and will grab us from all sides. So we have to be patient with the Quran. So in Surah Fatiha, you see Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala does not speak without any coherence. It is the speech of a madman normally, who says one thing and then they say another thing. Then they say one thing from some different place and then they mention something else. These are normally the speech of people who do not have any wisdom. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is completely free from such behavior. And when He speaks with full wisdom. So every single thing that He mentions, it will have some sort of link with the previous. And as we go along, we have already done in Surah Fatiha in many ways, that we have linked every ayah with the previous ayah, the subject with the different subject. Now in this surah is a different linking, is that why Baqrah came after Al-Fatiha instead of Ali Imran or different surah. Why didn't a different surah came in this place? This is one of the things that we tackle in these sessions, inshallah. There are many reasons, but of those reasons is that you see in previous surah Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala was talking about Tawheed. That is like the bunyad, that is like the foundation of the Quran. And the entire Quran is about Tawheed. So there was a little summary of Tawheed. Now in here is the full-on explanation of Tawheed. And there Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned three different types of groups. The mun'im, those people whom Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has favor on them. Those whom Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is angry at them, who has earned the anger, maghdub, and dalin. These three types of groups have been mentioned. And as we start Surah Baqarah, the three types of groups have been mentioned again. Those people who wants to follow the Quran, those people who are kuffar, and those people who are munafiqun. So three groups have been mentioned straight away. But on top of this, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives us their qualities as well as their traits. What kind of traits these people have and what kind of qualities that the people whom Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala praised at the beginning have. So this has been done. And another one, just last one, in Surah Fatiha we made dua to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Ihdina as-sirat al-mustaqim. Oh Allah, guide us. Oh Allah, direct us. Oh Allah, put us on straight path. So this is our iltija. This is our dua to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So Allah accepts and then gives us the Quran. ذَلِكَ الْكِتَابُ لَا رَيْبَ فِيهِ هُدًى لِلْمُتَّقِينَ. So we made dua, like one of the name of the surah is a dua. And here is in Al-Baqarah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala answers the dua. So that's one. There is another thing that every surah that we will start with, we will mention few things. Like there will be some things that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions, we will put it down as a headlines. And then the ayats of those will be connected. So, for example, we said in Fatiha, the main subject is Tawheed. Now in here is Tawheed as well. In every part of the Quran there is Tawheed, there is no doubt about that. However, there are something which have been put more focus on, which again leads to Tawheed. So in here they say there are many ways the ulama puts it, but there are one set of ulama they puts it in this manner, that say there are four maqasid arba'a, four fundamentals of the Quran, four fundamentals of Islam that have been mentioned. One of them is Tawheed, another one is Sidq Rasul, and another one is Jihad, and last one is infaq fi sabilillah. These four things have been mentioned. The entire surah can be divided to these four sections, and they're beautifully coherent. For example, the first ayats of Quran, the Baqrah starts from, is talking about Quran. ذَلِكَ الْكِتَابُ لَا رَيْبَ فِيهِ هُدًى لِلْمُتَّقِينَ. And we said we cannot be able to understand Tawheed from anywhere else except through wahi, where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, قُلْ هُوَ اللَّهُ أَحَدٌ. Rasul is being instructed to say Allah is one. What is Allah is one? This is Tawheed. So meaning the only source of us learning what Tawheed is through the wahi, meaning through the Quran. So in order for us to believe that the Quran is authentic, we need to be able to also believe in the prophethood. If there is any source of doubts that there is no prophets, then of course you cannot believe in the Quran. How the Quran came to us, then that connection is broken. So that's why Siddiq Rasul is important. It's fundamental that we believe in prophecy, that we believe in the prophethood, that we believe in that there were messengers that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sent in those times, as well as to us through Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam we received this book. So this is fundamental. Now, once you have understood the Quran, once you have understood what Tawheed is, once you have understood your job and responsibility, do you keep it to yourself, or it's going to be spread? It will be spread. You will become the means of spreading this to other people. For that is jihad. As well as those people who are getting harmed, who accept Tawheed, and now people are oppressing them from left and right. This is where the jihad comes in. This is where you're standing up for deen comes in. If this is not there in your life, then we are struggling. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned this in a quick summary in Surah Al-Asr, because we read this again and again. وَالْعَصْرِ إِنَّ الْإِنسَانَ لَفِي خُسْرٍ إِلَّا الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا وَعَمِلُوا الصَّالِحَاتِ. You believed, you did good deeds for yourself. That's it, well done. وَتَوَاصَوْا بِالْحَقِّ. They call, they establish, they call toward وَتَوَاصَوْا بِالْحَقِّ. They spread haqq. What is this haqq? This is the Quran, this is Tawheed. You meant to do that. You meant to call people toward this. And وَتَوَاصَوْا بِالصَّبْرِ. When any calamity comes in because of this, they stay like a mountain. They do not move. This is the situation that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions. So jihad is important. Jihad has to be there for you in order for you to believe Tawheed, in order for you to defend Tawheed, in order for you to belong and say that yes, you truly believe in this. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in many places says that there are many ayats that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala brings the jihad for this very reason, to make it known who are munafiqun and who are hypocrite and who are true with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. وَلَيَعْلَمَنَّ اللَّهُ الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا وَلَيَعْلَمَنَّ الْمُنَافِقِينَ. Allah bring these trials and tribulation and these issues that we see throughout in our life, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives us exam through it. Do we pass it? Do we fail it? This is the reason. The jihad is important for that reason. Now, jihad can be done with your hand in many different ways. So one is your physical, that you're going to be there in it. You're going to take part in that jihad. And jihad has many ways. There are many different ways. The fundamental of jihad is that you defend Islam. And if anyone is getting oppressed by it, you stand up. So this is one. Now, this is not only the work of the hand. If there is no financial boost behind it, you're going to fail again. So that's why infaq fi sabilillah comes in, which is the last portion of this surah. Meaning every single thing that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned in Baqarah, it is all related to Tawheed. In order for you to see that whether you do really believe in Tawheed or you're just saying with your tongue. So the rest are basically the actions and to prove that yes, you do believe in it. So this is with regards to the entire surah. Now, the first segment that we're starting, we said, what is the first thing that Baqarah has? We said four things. Tawheed, yeah? Tawheed is the beginning. So the first 96 ayahs, in here Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala talks about full on Tawheed. First of all, it starts from the three groups that Allah mentions. The first is the kitab, the Quran itself. The azma, the owner of the kitab. This kitab will decide that you believe in Tawheed or not. If you believed in the Quran, if you had honor for the Quran, you accepted everything the Quran is saying, then yes, you have belief. So the Quran is important that you have it. And then Allah mentions three types of groups that we mentioned. Three types of groups who believe in Tawheed truly, those people who believe it just with their tongue, not with their actions, and those people who are in the middle, sometime on one side, So we had the people who believe it throughout, with action as well as with their word. Those people who do not believe in it whatsoever, kuffar, completely neglected, and those people who are in the middle. So they are with you when the times is good, and when the times are bad, it is on the other side, munafiqun basically. Number two, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala speaks directly to everyone. Now, Ya ayyuhan nasu u'budu, ayah number 21, I think. In here, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala calls everyone to Tawheed, that you have been created and the people before it for this very Tawheed. لَعَلَّكُمْ تَتَّقُونَ. If you do not have this Tawheed in you, if you do not believe in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala the way you should be believing, then your existence does not have the reason that you were given life, the reason that you were being created is not being fulfilled. Meaning this was your only reality, the goal which you have missed. That was another one. Number 3, from ayah 40 to 48. In here Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala does khitab khas to those people who were given books. These are the Yahud. Who should believe in Tawheed straight away? The one who has been given knowledge. This is the common sense. The Yahud had the knowledge, and that is the more right of the knowledge is that you believe in. If you are ignorant of something, if you don't believe in it, that makes sense. But if you have information, you know what is all about, then you still don't believe in it, so this is the biggest of the crime. So that's why the first people that have been mentioned, that have been direct khitab has been done, is Yahud. That comes in Baqrah, meaning the entire Surah Al-Baqarah, the main focus of it is Yahud. So this has been done. Then later on in the last segment, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala speaks to them in various different fashion. There are like 6 khitab Allah, 6 different addresses Allah does to these people. Allah gave them one order and they disobeyed. Allah gave them another order, they disobeyed. Allah gave them another order and they disobeyed. It will come later on. I'm just saying it very quickly because I know I have taken a bit longer. But at the end, at this segment, Allah says the reason that these people have failed is 2 reasons. One of them is shirk, the other one is i'rad an kitabillah. Then them turning away from the book of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. These are the fundamentals that these people have failed. So do not be like them. So this is what's happening from the beginning of the in Baqarah. But inshallah when we start tomorrow we'll start from Alif Lam Mim. And the first segment will be the first 20 ayats where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala talks about the Azma, the owner of the kitab, as well as the 3 different types of group, the Muslims, those people who are kuffar, and the munafiqun. And Allah will give us their details, who they are. Wallahu alam. May Allah forgive our shortcomings. Jazakumullah khair.